Here's a clip featuring Keith Wilson and conservative American commentator Glenn Beck, who's very popular, formerly of Fox News. Let's take a look.
If Alberta votes to separate, Saskatchewan will come, but other parts of Canada, they're like, they're like these blue states in the U.S., the hardcore Democrats. They think the most important thing to do is to display pride flags, and we started off with having Pride Week and LGBTQ stuff as a day, and then it became a week, and then it became a month, and it's a national celebration for a month, and all of these
downtowns in major Canadian cities during the summer. It turns into Pride Summer.
A sea of colors celebrating diversity in the LGBTQ2+ community. Near the front, the city's mayor, Olivia Chow, summing up what Pride means to her.
Pride is about... How about an economic growth parade? Hey, everybody, let's work harder. Let's build more businesses. Things like that. Pride stuff, in my opinion, has become LGBT is better.
Progressive views, wide open immigration. Our immigration numbers are out of control.
Statistics Canada says the number of non-permanent residents grew by more than 500,000 people in 2023.
So their mindset in the rest of Canada is very much left-leaning, very much wanting government to look after everything, wanting government to care for every aspect of their life, whereas those of us in the West on the prairies in Alberta and Saskatchewan, no, we don't think government's very good at doing much of anything. We'll look after our own problems. We're rugged individualism. So there is an incredible divide in Canada. Canada is not a united is not a nation that's united with common values.
Look, that's so true. Keith Wilson is a very profound person. I mean, I don't think he does that on purpose. It's just him talking. But man, the more I listen to this guy, he is full of just these gems. He had one the other day. I can't remember right now. Maybe it'll come to me as I'm editing the video. But when he says this here,
is not a united is not a nation that's united with common values.
I've lived in Alberta. I've lived in two places in Alberta, but I've lived in Saskatchewan. I've lived in Toronto, and I even spent a summer in Montreal. When you're in the East, when you're in Toronto, Montreal, it truly feels like a different country. Yes, you're technically still in Canada, but it doesn't feel like that. Alberta, Saskatchewan, it's in the air. The culture, the way people interact with one another, maybe physically the buildings look similar, but I mean, let me know in the comments if you agree with this. The East truly does feel like a different country.
Is not a nation that's united with common values anymore at all. The rest of the country's gone very hard left, whereas Alberta and Saskatchewan have stayed true to conservative principles.
As a Canadian, how does that feel to you?
It's very frightening. My wife and I have 4 kids. Actually, you and I are the same age. And so the things we think about, right? And it's a scary time up here for the future of our kids. Just the economic aspect of it alone. There's the social cultural, which is downright frightening. The gun grab, what's happened to Sean Foyt and other examples, which we can talk about more. But the economics, Alberta.
Look, before he gets to the economics, the point about kids, this is not the point he's making, I don't think, but have you seen the birth rates lately? Canada is truly just being replaced by immigrants. The birth rate in Canada has fallen off of a cliff to approach countries such as Japan and South Korea. And where was the national conversation about that?
Some new data from Statistics Canada shows a sharp decline in fertility rates. Back in 2023, Canada joined, quote, ultra-low fertility countries like Japan, South Korea, and Switzerland.
But elbows up. I don't remember that being a debate issue at all. When Pierre Poilievre, during the 25 campaign, said something about women's biological clocks, the left went at him for that.
We will not forget that young 36-year-old couple whose biological clock is running out faster than they can afford to buy a home and have kids.
I don't think any woman wants to hear Pierre Poilievre talking about their body, period. Period. Don't do it.
And then Scumbag Singh chimes in there. Is that not the dominant Canadian culture? Just virtue signal, don't talk about women's bodies. Never mind the fact the country is being completely changed with massive immigration and incredibly low birth rates, but don't talk about women's bodies, Pierre.
The economics. Alberta is the largest generator of wealth in our country through our oil and gas activities, our petrochemical, our refining, all of these things, our agriculture and so on. And we have this goofy thing in our constitution where if one province is doing well, we have to send our wealth to the provinces that aren't doing well notionally. So they call it equalization. Well, a number of the provinces in the other part of the country to the east get 20% of their budget from hardworking Albertans, and then they impose policies on us. So, for example, the federal Liberals are all these green, this green leftist stuff. So we've got a net zero rule. We've got a production cap.
Crazy. There's also a party literally called the Green Party.
We've got a tanker ban. We've got all these things because they don't want Alberta to produce our oil and gas. So they're holding it in the ground. They're holding our economy back. Albertans would be richer than citizens of Saudi Arabia or Dubai if they would let us produce our oil and gas. They're not. So all of these...
It is incredible, man. Keith Wilson is actually very good in these interviews. Wow.
So all of these things are layering on top of one another. This authoritarianism that we're seeing that started with the COVID mandates. Canada had some of the...
I lived in Toronto during COVID. It was actually awful in Toronto. I just lived in this box and you thought, oh, next month it'll be better. Next month. And it just kept going on and on and on. Man, Americans would not have stood for that. America has way more of a culture of free speech, pushing back. The people in Toronto, I don't know. There was very little pushback.
COVID mandate.
That one woman in the Senate in Canada still wears a medical mask.
The Supreme Court of Canada stopped using X a year ago this month, well before the Grok AI program turned the platform into the world's largest engine for creating deep fake, non-consensual nude images of women and girls. Given the declining number of Canadians using X, because many have quit for reasons of moral revulsion, will the government consider embracing
reasons of moral revulsion?
Canada had some of the most restrictive mandates in the world. Many people don't realize that. So it's become a dark time up here.
That's so true. So that's the end of the clip. But I still, do not think Canada fully appreciates how insane our COVID lockdown was. And the amount of people that I believe would still be wearing masks, would still be social distancing, 6 years later, if they could. And I think they sort of enjoyed telling others what to do. Put your mask on, stand back. It's crazy. The spirit in Canada, I don't know if it's ever been worse in the history of the country. I mean, obviously I was not around in early times, but there is a lot of people sleepwalking in Canada. With that said, I'll finish the video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Have a great day.